Hey there, it's Austin. Um, so I wanted to make a video that is kind of a response to a message that I got recently on YouTube, which may raise questions that other people might have too, and this also addresses my own struggles that I've had over the years with gender. So what this message seemed to ask, or the same issues that I have struggled with, are things like basically like culture's influence on our perceptions of gender, our pressures to fit into gender roles. Like, the person has something along the lines of, like, why, instead of transitioning, why can't you just try being like a masculine female, or like, I don't know, maybe even being male identified without transitioning? Like, it's just the culture, it's just the patriarchy that makes us feel like in order to be genuinely masculine, you also have to be male. So why are you going along with that? You're just being pressured by the culture. You're being brainwashed. I'm not quoting the message, I'm just sort of putting it in my own words. I have thought a ton about that, and those questions, that's kind of like my little monologue is like what I've said to myself in the past. That has really held me back from accepting that I'm trans, from just accepting myself, period. And it has been depressing and not effective to try to live as a masculine female and try to resist culture, because I don't feel like a female. Like, I don't like it. I mean, I see butch women, and it seems like a lot of them are happy being butch women. They're happy being female. They don't want to be called he. They don't want to change their bodies. They don't want body hair or facial hair or anything like that. Maybe they're not really that attached or not especially into, like, having sex as a guy or whatever. And now that I'm just getting to this place where I'm like, I accept myself, I'll let myself have my feelings. Now that I'm at that place, I'm like, you know, I guess I actually don't totally understand that, being a butch woman and feeling totally okay with being a woman. I tried to, as you can see in my old videos, for sure, but that didn't really work out, did it? No, because I just feel different than butch women, as far as I can tell. Like, I'm not okay with these, not Ireland, but, my chest. I'm not okay with that. It bothers me all the time, makes me uncomfortable psychologically all the time. It's about the body. It's not about culture. I mean, I think any trans person needs to think about culture and needs to make sure that they're not, like, actually being brainwashed or something. But I think for the vast majority of trans people, it's about the body. It's about, like, how you feel on the inside. Like, regardless of issues of culture or the patriarchy, it's like, my body makes me psychologically uncomfortable. I mean, even not only the boobs, but, like, stuff that seems as simple as, like, my hands. I don't have, like, super feminine hands, but still, when I look at them, I feel like they're all, like, red because I was working out and holding weights, but, I feel like they look kind of feminine, and that makes me psychologically uncomfortable. Even, like, my hairline makes me psychologically uncomfortable, because it's like a woman's hairline. It looks like a butch woman haircut, and that makes me depressed and uncomfortable. Not because I'm against butch women, which I'm completely not, but just because I don't feel like I look like how I want to look. I don't feel like I look how I expect to look when I look in the mirror, when I see a picture of myself. Like, I'm disappointed when I look in the mirror, see pictures of myself, which sounds sad and depressing. And I guess it kind of is. I don't want to be down on myself. I think it's really important to try to have a positive view of yourself and have good self-esteem and to appreciate yourself even if you're not perfect. But just the specifically gender stuff is what really makes me psychologically uncomfortable. And it's like, come on, if that can be fixed somewhat with testosterone, why not, you know? If I could be happier and not feel like depressed and anxious and just like super depressed about my body's sex, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, and you know, I think that if you do stuff to ease your depression, whatever that might mean, you know, like a cisgendered person or any person at all taking antidepressants if you have depression, which is what I've done, that's awesome. It's good for your health. So if you're a trans person who's like really depressed and having a lot of psychological difficulties with your body and how people perceive you and all that, then if hormones or surgery or whatever would lift your depression to some extent, that's good for your health, because depression and anxiety have like scientifically observed, scientifically proven negative effects on your health, short-term and long-term. So hormones, this is a tangent, but hormones can have health effects, obviously, you know, like an FTM going on T has increased heart disease risks, etc., just as like cisgendered men have higher risk of heart disease than cisgendered women do. Maybe that could be somewhat balanced out by the fact that it could reduce some of the negative health effects of stuff like depression and anxiety. So I like to keep that in mind. I think that's important. Well, that was a tangent. Okay, let me get back. So, it's actually sort of a simple answer to that question of like, don't let the culture dictate what you do. Like, you can totally be a butch woman or a trans guy who's not on T. Yeah, but like I said, the gendered aspects of my body make me uncomfortable and depressed. Why not do something about it? You know? I feel like a guy. Like when I see other guys or trans guys, by that I mean when I see cisgendered guys or trans guys, which means basically any type of guy, like when I see their strong hands, like if they're a fit person, or like how their face looks, you know, like a masculine face, brows and jaw and so forth. Or when I see like a flat chest on a guy, like I feel this like pang deep within me where I'm like, it's a really deep emotional thing. I'm like, I need that. I identify with that. I want it. And if testosterone can help me get that, like, that sounds so exciting. I mean, it sounds like Christmas to me. Throughout these months, when I've been doing stuff like, living more as male, at least like with certain friends, when I have been having a top surgery consult with Dr. Crane, when I have met with the endocrinologist and gotten testosterone prescribed for me, which I'm getting a week from today, which will be June 5th, 2014. By the way, that's exciting. When I've done all these things, I have this like Christmas feeling where it's that feeling that you have like Christmas Eve if you have experienced Christmas, or maybe you can compare it to a birthday if you haven't experienced Christmas. Like, you go to bed with this feeling like tomorrow is going to be so awesome. Like, I am probably going to get that thing that I really want. It's going to be really exciting. that's totally how I feel. I'm not even trying to feel that way, it just happens. Like, the other day, when I talked on the phone to make the appointment for getting my first injection of testosterone next week, when I hung up with the lady in the office, like, I had this big, genuine smile on my face. And it's not like I was trying to, like, as it was happening, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, that's kind of cool that I'm smiling so much right now, just spontaneously. So, I mean, come on. If transition makes somebody feel that way, why would you not do it? I mean, yeah, negative health effects, blah, 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 but come on. Like, life is short. Why not just do what makes you happy? Don't, like, try to, like, fight the culture and, like, I'm gonna stay female just as a cultural statement. I would be so freaking depressed. No way. Ugh. No. I've tried that for so many years, as you can tell by my old videos. I'm still here. It's not like I'm saying, oh, it worked. I'm super happy being a butch woman. It just didn't work. I'm still going in the circles, obsessing over watching trans guys' YouTube videos, making my own videos, thinking about what it would be like to be on T, getting this vicarious excitement when I watch people's T updates. Like, yeah, that being a butch woman is not working for me personally, although it works excellently for other people, which is awesome. But it's not working for me. So I'm going to do something about it. I don't want to be depressed and uncomfortable for my whole life, period. So that's my answer. And there's sort of a related question that I have often asked myself and that this person asked in a message to me, which is something along the lines of, like, why do we need to have gender, or why do we need to have the gender binary? Like, can't you fight the gender binary? Like, why do you need to be a man? Well, just because I feel like a guy. That's how I feel. There's really not much more complicated explanation than that. If somebody feels like, for reals, in between, that's awesome. That exists. That's cool and should be respected. So people should obviously have more than two choices of sex and gender, yeah. But I feel like a guy, so I'm going with it. That's all.